Today on NewsWatch, the Republican frontrunner and Speaker of the House just can't seem to get along. See how Donald Trump is responding to Paul Ryan's refusal to endorse him. Plus, changes in North Korea will break down what could be ahead as the country's Communist Party has its biggest gathering in more than 30 years. And see how congregations are throwing open their doors to people often forgotten by the church. And thanks so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Donald Trump is redefining his tax plan, party unity, and is once again taking aim at House Speaker Paul Ryan. The presumptive GOP nominee is set to meet with Ryan Thursday to hash out their differences. Heather Sells has the latest.
In Trump's original tax plan, the highest earners got a break, with the top rate going from 39% to 25%. But now Trump says after negotiating with the Democrats, the rate will probably go up.
I am willing to pay more, and you know what? Wealthy are willing to pay more.
Trump's pivot may help to diffuse attacks from Hillary Clinton, who's been telling people that the wealthy are the biggest beneficiaries of his tax plan. Another big challenge for Trump, bringing together a fractured GOP that will raise money for him and bring in the votes. Publicly, at least, he says he has a very different view of party unity.
Does the party have to be together? Does it have to be unified? I'm very different than everybody else, perhaps that's ever run for office. I actually don't think so. I think that
it doesn't have to be unified?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be better if it were unified. I think it would be there would be something good about it, but I don't think it actually has to be unified in the traditional sense.
Perhaps Trump's biggest test right now, his relationship with House Speaker Paul Ryan. Trump has complained that he was, quote, blindsided by Ryan's recent refusal to endorse him. And now Sarah Palin is slamming Ryan for that move, saying she will work to defeat him in his primary re-election challenge.
His political career is over, but for a miracle, because he has so disrespected the will of the people.
For his part, Trump says he won't rule out removing Ryan as the chairman of this summer's Republican National Convention. It's a tough stance to take just days before the two power brokers are set to meet in Washington. Outside his party, Trump is making clear he will have no problem going after Bill Clinton, responding to Hillary's attacks on him about his attitude toward women.
I think he gets involved when she plays the women's card. No, if he's involved in the campaign, he should absolutely, he could be brought into it.
And here's a guy, he was impeached because he lied. He lied. Do you remember the famous, I did not have sex with that woman, and then a couple of months later, I'm guilty. And she's taking negative ads on me.
It's all part of the battle for the women's vote, which Trump and Clinton will both need come November. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore faces removal from office for opposing gay marriage. He issued an order banning same-sex marriage in Alabama after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized the practice last year. The Alabama Judicial Inquiry Commission filed ethics charges against Moore, claiming he abused his power and disrespected the judiciary. Chief Justice Moore has been automatically suspended from the bench and faces permanent removal if he is found guilty. North Carolina leaders are not backing down in a standoff with the U.S. Department of Justice. The DOJ threatened the state with a loss of billions in education funding unless it changes its new bathroom law by today. The law requires people to use public restrooms based on their biological sex. North Carolina could face a lawsuit if it does not back down. Iran has test-fired yet another ballistic missile. It is the latest in a string of missile tests since Iran struck a nuclear deal with the West. The latest missile can travel 1,250 miles, just long enough to reach Israel. In March, Iran test-fired a missile with the phrase, "Israel must be wiped out," written on the side of it in Hebrew. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is inviting all UN personnel into Israel to a seminar on Jewish history. His invitation follows a recent resolution by the UN agency UNESCO that omits the biblical connection of the Jewish people to the Temple Mount. Here's Chris Mitchell now from Jerusalem.
The UN Special Envoy to the Middle East declined Netanyahu's invitation, but the Prime Minister's spokesman said the seminar would go on.
Absolutely. We're going to hold it, and we hope that a lot of diplomats come. We may even live stream it, perhaps to show folks at home.
I'm holding the UNESCO resolution on Jerusalem. It calls Israel the occupying power and also condemns Israel for its alleged aggression against Muslim worshippers. It cites the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Harim al-Sharif, but makes no mention of the Temple Mount or the 4,000-year-old history of the Jewish people in Jerusalem.
The Temple Mount isn't just any site. It's the single holiest site to the Jewish people and has been so for thousands of years. So denying the link between the Jewish people and the Temple Mount is tantamount to saying you don't belong here.
The UNESCO resolution referred to the Western Wall as the Al-Barak Plaza. The Western Wall was the outer retaining wall of the Temple Mount in the time of Jesus. It criticized Israeli archaeological digs in the area and also blamed Israel for violence on the Temple Mount last fall, but didn't mention the actions of Muslim rioters. He said the seminar is meant to correct the record.
Well, the Prime Minister wanted to expose the truth about the Temple Mount, perhaps give a refresher history course about the Jewish people and their connection to this land and the Temple Mount, because it spans back thousands of years.
He said the resolution makes peace more difficult.
The fact that a UN body is denying that link between the Jewish people and the Temple Mount actually makes peace harder, because peace is based off respect and understanding. And this shows neither respect for history nor an understanding of the Jewish people.
More than 40 nations voted for the resolution on Jerusalem. The U.S. voted against it. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un offered peace and threatened war at the same time against South Korea Sunday. It came during the North's biggest meeting of its ruling Communist Party in 36 years. Mung Fa Lee reports on what this rare event might mean for North Korea's future.
It's the 7th time in North Korea's history that such an event has been held, and the first time since 1980. It's a high-level meeting, one that Kim Jong-un's regime has been working hard to prepare for. People from Pyongyang, the capital city, expressed their excitement about the party gathering and loyalty to Un.
We are very thrilled about this event. We want to show our unity and support to our current leaders. We know they are going to lead our nation towards a better future.
Experts believe Kim Jong-un will continue to pursue policies that will simultaneously create greater economic growth and expand the nation's nuclear weapons program. Internally, Un might try to strengthen his control over the North Korea military and government. He's also facing outside pressures. China is pushing the regime to implement a number of reforms. Despite criticism of the country's recent submarine missile test, North Korea is pressing forward to advance its nuclear weapons programs. Other nations will continue to monitor North Korea closely in order to avoid potential political conflicts on the Korean peninsula. Mung Fa Lee for CBN News.
Coming up, meet an American who was sentenced to 15 years in a North Korean prison camp, and he lived to tell about it. Hear how God carried him through. He traveled to North Korea in 2012 because of his love for its people. But American missionary Kenneth Bae almost didn't make it out alive. Now he's telling his story to the world. Earlier, he spoke with CBN's George Thomas, but first, here's a quick recap of his story.
On November 3rd, 2012, on a trip to North Korea, Kenneth Bae accidentally broke his own cardinal rule: never bring an external computer hard drive into the country. Now, North Korean authorities had it, and him. Bae was jailed and quickly sentenced to 15 years of hard labor at a remote North Korean prison camp. He suffered forced labor and failing health for 2 long years. The prayers and efforts of family, friends, and strangers, and even the President of the United States, mobilized to bring Kenneth Bae home. Now Bae tells his story of those events in his book, Not Forgotten: The True Story of My Imprisonment in North Korea. And Kenneth Bae joins us now. It's great to have you on the broadcast. You know, millions of people around the world were praying for you. Now, listen, the whole idea of North Korea for you was to give people an opportunity to pray and worship. What was your goal? What were you hoping to accomplish through these trips?
Yes, I want the people around the world to be able to go to North Korea and we walk around the land and just to pray for the people in North Korea and also worship in behalf of them because I believe that God wants to receive the worship from the land of North Korea. So we as Christians go to the land, North Korea, and just walk around and show the love of Jesus Christ to them through compassion and through care. And I hope that the spiritual wall around the countries will crumbling down so that people are able to know God and they worship God. And there was a whole reason behind the bringing people to North Korea.
And can you talk a little bit about your first interrogator, Mr. Park, who apparently became very angry with you because he understood the power of prayer and faith. Can you talk a little bit about that conversation?
Yes. I was charged with attempting to overthrow the government through prayer and worship. And I asked him, you know, you don't believe in God, why you worry about prayer? And then this is what he said, is one person come to know the Lord, and then one can become 10 will become 100, and 10,000. Do you think they're going to be a threat to us or not? Because they're going to believe in God other than Kim Il-sung. They'll divide the country. They will tear it apart.
The interrogator was saying this to you?
Yes, this is what the interrogators were saying this to me. It's that, and I say, you have more faith than most of Christians. You believe in the power of prayer.
God visited you and assured you audibly. He spoke to you in those early days, in those early moments of being captured. Tell us about that.
After I was detained on the third night, they made me stand in the middle of the room for a whole day long. I was really worried and I was a little panicking, standing still in the middle of the room for hours. And suddenly my hand was getting warm. My left hand and my left arm was getting warm. And I felt like this is what God spoke to me at the time. He said, Holy Spirit is standing next to you, holding your hand. So do not worry about anything. No one will be harmed through this, and I will speak through you. And when he spoke to me, I felt like if God is with me, who can be against me? And so that early on in my detainment, God gave me assurance that He's with me, He will be my rescuer. So I had to go back to the promise of God every time I was going into despair or hopeless situation and say, yes, God is with me.
You describe a turning point where you stopped asking God to save you, but to start using you.
Yes.
How did that transformation happen?
After being there almost a year, I thought that I was going to go home earlier than that. And then there were 2 previous attempts by U.S. government trying to free me, but it failed. I realized that I'm not going anytime soon. I got a letter from my mom saying that you need a faith like Daniel's 3 friends.
Wow.
God is able to save me, but if He does not, I will choose to worship God. And so I realized that I may have to be here longer, and then I have to ask God, Lord, do you want me to stay here? Like I've been praying that send me home, bring me home. But so I had to struggle for about 3 weeks in agony, and I finally have to accept that, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. And I want, please use me as your vessel. I'll give up my right to go home. And after that I felt so peace. And then from that moment, it became a turning point because I was focusing on my suffering and focusing on myself. I was able to start seeing people with the eyes of Jesus.
The guards in your prison camp, that turning point affected the way you saw them.
Yes.
And how you treated them from an emotional standpoint.
Yes, they no longer become my oppressor, and I see them as a lost sheep of God, and I started to have more compassion. I think that I was started to have a heart of God more toward to them, and God opened the door for me to be able to reach out to them after that.
And it's interesting because they started calling you pastor, and they started asking for advice from you.
Yeah, they cannot do that in the public,
Right.
but when they're alone, sometimes some of them come up to me and say, Pastor, can I help? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Could you help me with this?
What kind of questions did they
They were
have for
talking
you?
about them, sometimes their marriage problems, premarital counseling,
Wow.
or even the parenting, some issues, or just simply about talking about life. So we ended up spending a lot of time sharing with different topics with the people over there.
How can Christians pray for the people of North Korea?
We need to pray for North Korean people to know God, And we need to pray that, Lord, for them, especially for the persecuted Christian in North Korea, we need to pray for their safety, and so they can be the light in the nation. And also to pray that the government of North Korea will be able to open up so that people like us, they don't see us as a threat, but they see us as a blessing to the country, so that we'll be able to reach into the people, not as it's a threat from the Western power trying to take over, but to be able to go and share as a blessing. So to pray for the missionaries working in the North Korea. Pray that someday the North Korea will open up so that we'll be able to worship God together.
To find out how you can get Kenneth Bae's book, check out our website, cbnnews.com. Up next, special needs children are isolated from society, and too often they're isolated in church. Meet the woman who is on a mission to change all of it. Roughly 1 in 5 Americans has some kind of disability, but are they in your church or other churches across the country? Charlene Aaron met an extraordinary woman who is changing how churches include people with special needs, like her own daughter.
17-year-old Samantha Jackson sits alone in her living room, making sounds only she understands. Samantha has severe autism, a developmental disorder that manifests in many ways, including the inability to develop language.
Because she can't communicate well, she gets very, very frustrated. As you can imagine, that was even worse when she was younger.
Have you had any negative experiences with her in public? And you laugh when we ask you.
Karen may laugh now, but dealing with this behavior is no joke. 7-year-old Ty Jessup also has autism. His parents share their experiences on a video blog like this, when Ty had a meltdown in the middle of an IKEA store.
You need to get in the shop. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just had like the worst experience, and I can't. I know it won't be his last meltdown, and I know that it's normal, but it's just...
Now imagine a meltdown like that happening at church. For the Jackson family, it became a reality when 4-year-old Samantha turned extremely disruptive during a quiet service.
She's basically kicking and screaming as I drag her out. You know, that was pretty tough. I just stopped taking her, and my husband and I took turns going to Mass.
But Karen believes Samantha belongs in church.
I think she's a person of immense faith. She doesn't show it the way you and I might show it, but she shows it with her actions very clearly.
The first time Karen caught a glimpse of this was when Samantha was 10 years old at this McDonald's restaurant. On the way in, she encountered a homeless man, someone most people would avoid.
But Samantha stopped dead in front of him, and she looked at him, and she reached out to him. And I was so moved by that because, you know, here I was trying to shuffle her by, not even acknowledging him. And there she was acknowledging this other person in such a beautiful way. That was sort of when I think for me, I started thinking about her impact on other people and her spiritual life.
What is your philosophy when it comes to members of your congregation who have special needs?
All are welcome.
Thanks to that spirit, the Jackson family began attending Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church. Father Joe, however, wasn't quite prepared for someone like Samantha.
No idea about autism. I couldn't even spell the word. And then Karen said, how about if I speak to the parish at all the masses? I thought, there's no way I'm going to block the role of the Holy Spirit. My gosh.
Samantha is now fully a part of this congregation. Karen started a support group for other families who had children with disabilities, but she soon realized the problem was bigger than she thought. According to one study, although over 80% of adults with disabilities say faith is important in their life, less than half are involved in church, and 1 out of 3 families has left their congregation because their child hasn't been welcomed or included.
So, you know, my prayer was to God, you know, what more can I do? And that is a pretty, dangerous prayer.
Indeed.
Indeed. And so Faith Inclusion Network sort of developed out of that.
In 2008, Karen started the Faith Inclusion Network, or FIN. It helps churches learn to become more inclusive and families to find a welcome place to worship.
Disability itself is simply a more noticeable form of the brokenness and difficulty that's common to the human experience.
FIN is also branching out to bring together leaders of the faith and disability community to network, educate, and inspire.
For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. There's no asterisk on that verse that sends you to the bottom of the page where it says, except for people with disabilities.
Susie Stefanowicz has seen how God prepared some of these people for his work. She and her husband began the Chosen Ministry to help people with disabilities worship together.
They have the pure God's love, I think, that with no inhibitions at all. And you come here and you just feel totally loved.
Everybody will tell us what a great job we're doing. And we actually get much more out of the work that we do than what we put into it.
Samantha Jackson spends less time alone now. Here, she is free to be herself and dance. Charlene Aaron, CBN News, Virginia Beach.
It is time now for your Monday Motivation. As you begin your week, I'd like to remind you that God has an overflow of blessings for you, but here is the key to unlocking the flood. Remember this: there is no overflow without obedience. So search the scriptures, hear his voice, and follow his command. With that word, make this a marvelous Monday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Hope you join us again right here next time. Make this a marvelous Monday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.